Going on, guys? Welcome to Get It Right Saturday night. This is our Jake Paul versus Ben Askren post-fight reaction discussion. We're going to be talking about all the fights, but first and foremost, we're going to be talking about the Jake Paul-Ben Askren fight because that's what's in the news. Unfortunately, that's what our society loves the most, despite the fact that we also had the great fight between Demetrius Andrade and Liam Williams. But Jake Paul, man, Jake Paul, get it right Saturday night. Jake Paul got it right tonight against Ben Askren, you guys. Just completely smashed Ben Askren. First round technical knockout. First round technical knockout. And you can say what you want. You can say what you want about Jake Paul, man, but he's definitely got some pop in those hands and knows what he's doing enough to where he's dangerous to regular guys and guys that aren't good with the hands, guys like Ben Askren, who's primarily a wrestler. But this is not what I expected. Look, when I first predicted this fight, I don't know if you guys were watching. I think I said it on here. I said, he's going to knock Askren out in the first couple rounds. I changed my prediction yesterday. I said Jake Paul would win, but I thought it would happen by decision. I just felt like Ben Askren would be... Excuse me, guys. I felt like Ben Askren would just be a little too durable, but he wasn't, man. He wasn't. Look, the beginning of the end went like this. Jake Paul set up the knockout punch with a jab, and he threw what looked to be, to me, like a 4, right? Jab, right hook, landed flush on the temple, and it sent Ben Askren flying, man. It sent Ben Askren flying. Ben Askren hit the canvas, I think head first. I mean, that's how much of an impact the shot had on him. You got to give Jake Paul that credit. That's a lot of power he generated in that shot. Or maybe it was just a well-placed shot. Combined with the fact that Askren isn't a boxer at all. He really hurt Askren with that shot. And, I was a little bit shocked because, again, when I first predicted this or thought about this fight, I thought, Ben Askren can't box. Jake Paul's going to knock him out quick. But then I said to myself, well, Ben Askren is, maybe training. He's got, toughness from wrestling. He's got durability. I mean, we saw what Robbie Lawler did to him and couldn't put him to sleep. We saw what it took to finally put him to sleep when Jorge Masvidal ran full speed, full clip across an octagon and kneed him to the head. That was the only thing that could take him out. But yeah, Jake Paul, man, lands a big bomb of a right hook, puts Ben Askren to sleep. We also had on the card our friend Quentin Randall. He won, basically shut out his opponent, I believe. They didn't air it for whatever reason, but I know he won because his coach posted on social media. We interviewed Quentin Randall last week, and, big shout out to him. Congrats on the win. We also had Regis Prograis on the card. A fantastic fighter. Fought Ivan Redkach. I'm not sure you guys caught what Red Catch did there. To me, it looked like he kind of, threw the fight. It looked like, to me, that, he didn't really get hit. And he acted like he got hit with a low blow. I don't know. Somebody said kidney punch. To me, it didn't even look like the shot connected. He fell to the ground. He wanted to get out the fight. They eventually called the fight for Regis Prograis. Much deserved. Cheers, you guys. Cheers. Get it right Saturday night. Appreciate you guys joining me. And we had Demetrius Andrade today beat a very game Liam Williams. Another fight, I hate to say it, that I got it right. I hate to say I got it right. Another fight. I thought, again, Jake Paul would win, and I thought Andrade would win. It looks like, they both came to fruition. I said Andrade by decision. That's what happened. I thought the Jake Paul fight, look, again, I was floating between a knockout and then a decision. I did ultimately go with a decision. There was none of that tonight, man. There was none of that tonight at all, you guys. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of this whole Jake Paul fight? I actually, as goofy as it is, I was talking to one of the subscribers, Staggeredly Goods. He was telling me he enjoyed the commentary. He likes the four commentators just kind of freestyling it, being silly. I thought it was fun. I don't like the musical performance because, it's never my taste in music. I don't like it. So, the music part doesn't really sit right, but I could see how that could bring in a different crowd and more eyes. And, I was saying to myself, especially I feel like the women that don't love boxing, that's a way to get them involved in the sport. So I appreciate that. Anything to bring in more people, give these guys more attention. Yeah, and Cheddar mentioned in here, I'm going to go over to the chat now in a second, but Cheddar mentioned, he says, who noticed Bruce Buffer butcher Ben's last name? I think he said Askew. I think he said Askew instead of Askren, so I heard that one, brother. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna read what you guys are saying in the chat. I see somebody said something about too early. Listen, I don't think the stoppage was early. I think you could have let him keep going. Maybe he would have survived a little bit longer. But I was okay with the stoppage, man. The way he got hit and the way he landed, right? If he wasn't knocked out from the punch, which, he borderline was, he was hurt when he landed. His head kind of went, he kind of went face or head first into the canvas after getting hit. That was not pleasant for Ben Askren. I'll tell you guys that much. And what a, kind of a sad way to end off your amateur career, or your amateur career. Kind of a sad way to end off your combat sports career, right? If you're Ben Askren. Because, here's a guy who was like undefeated, a champion at 1FC, and then he goes over to the UFC. He gets clobbered by Robbie Lawler, survives, gets the win. Gets destroyed by Jorge Masvidal, pretty much. I mean, has a fight with Damian Maia, but that nobody's ever really going to remember. And then, fights a YouTuber and gets smoked. More power to him, though. He made good money. I'm sure he's going to get a nice chunk of the revenue from the pay-per-views on this one. But get it right Saturday night. But, he is not going out with the best legacy by getting knocked out by a YouTuber. That being said, he's a prize fighter. Good on him for getting that last paycheck. Let me know what you guys are drinking in the chat, man. If you're on here with me, I'll get it right Saturday night. You got to be drinking or doing something. So let me know. Mike Salceda. I'm gonna hit up the chat real quick here. Mike Salceda says Jake Paul with the KO. LOL. LOL. Ben's got trash hands, man. Mike, you aren't lying, man. Ben Askren's hands are not the business, brother. Not unless they're for grappling. Shout out to Staggeredly Goods, man, with the $5 super chat donation. Appreciate you, brother, man. Always supporting. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say, man. One of the most generous people we've ever had on the channel. And he says, not a good look for Boo Boo. We talked about it. Yeah, we're going to have to go over that in a second. Kyle Kennedy says, got him right on the button. Kyle, you're right, man. I mean, he hit that off switch right there. Or I guess, power down switch because the guy was still awake. But, man, his whole body did one of these, and he went head first into the canvas. I said to myself, ooh, that's a nasty fall from a nasty knockdown. And, I was okay with the ref stopping him. Jason Eagles. 6 a.m. here in the UK. Can't actually believe I stayed up to watch this fair play Jake Paul can fight. But that whole event, was awful. And it looks like he's probably going to fight that guy, Fournier. Joe Fournier, the businessman from London. Also training in Miami now. So it looks like that's going to be the next fight, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know if people will be as excited about that fight as they would another fight. USFA says, I'm so happy I watch UFC rather than that joke of a fight. Cheddar323 says, where is that Vitaly Johnson guy who kept hyping Ben Askren? Man, that guy is gone. And Dana White, Snoop Diggity Dog, $2 million. I wonder if they actually placed that bet. Ha ha ha, says Gus Fring. Poor Ben didn't see that overhand, and the ref didn't give him a chance. I was okay with the ref not giving him a chance. You guys, let me know. Let me know if you guys thought the fight was stopped early. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I just thought, I look at it from a standpoint of, I don't want the guys ending up with any sort of permanent damage. So I was okay with that stoppage. He looked out on his feet to me when he got back up. So I could see why the referee, he wasn't that responsive, at least in my opinion. Mad Dog 8 says, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Guys, when you hit the like button, I ask that you hit the like button. When you hit the like button, it helps with the YouTube algorithm getting us out there or whatever. So please do that. That's greatly appreciated if you guys do that. Let's see here. The fight was rigged, says Alex Mark. Cheddar323 says, who noticed Bruce Buffer butchered the name? We talked about that. He had 6 seconds left to recover. I wanted the fight to last. I agree with you, Alex. I wanted the fight to last too. Do I think it was rigged? No, I don't think it was rigged. I think that's a little bit over the top. But, little over the top. But, yeah, I would have liked to see it last longer. Because, it was kind of entertaining to see what would happen while it lasted. And Ben Askren landed a good shot at the beginning of the fight, landed a good right hand. I was like, oh, this could get interesting. And then it was a wrap. Zarus Zathus says, think it was too early. Ben was proper up for it, but I'm no boxer, so my opinion means squat. Hey, perhaps he could have kept going. Staggerly, again, he said not a good look for Boo Boo. Guys, Boo Boo's a great fighter. Boo Boo Andrade is a great fighter. Liam Williams, though, is a tough guy. If you're not from the UK or you don't follow boxing hardcore, you don't know much about the guy. The guy was a real, the guy was a real live dog, man. And, no, that guy's not an easy out for anybody. I was actually pretty impressed by the way Boo Boo, performed against him. A lot of people had Liam winning. A lot of people that I know that I respect had Liam winning this fight. I predicted, again, Andrade by decision. I think he's just got a little bit more experience on Liam, and he's very slick. He's also a southpaw. He's a tough fight. But it was a great performance by Liam. I don't think it's a bad thing the way Andrade performed, but people will look at that fight and say, oh, Liam Williams seemed to hurt Andrade. I remember at least one occasion where he hurt him. At least to me, it looked like he hurt him at least once or twice. And Andrade, however you want to say it, was holding on for dear life. Of course, Liam Williams was hurt several times in the fight as well and dropped. The decision was a fair one. But, people will see the vulnerabilities in Demetrius Andrade, and they'll have to determine for themselves if those were the result of Andrade having flaws, or those were the result of Liam Williams just being a pretty damn good fighter. And I think it's probably a mix of the two. By the way, if you guys haven't already, not only hit the subscribe button, but join the channel, man, for just $5 a month. That's 16 cents a day. You not only help me continue to build the channel, but build a promotion, man. We are absolutely starving in this world, in this state, in this country, on this planet for a pro kickboxing promotion. We deal with some of the top talent in the world here in the state of California. You know, even Anderson Silva's son fights for us, which I think is impressive. We've got an amazing card coming for you guys in the near future as soon as the emergency mandate for fights is lifted in California here. So join us on the journey, man. Join Knucklehead Nation. Become an official Knucklehead. Just $5 a month by clicking the join button. Also, I wanted to say we've still got the glove contest going. A free pair of 12-ounce never-before-used fight gloves. All you got to do is join the channel, get 2 people to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and then you can put their names either in the comments below or DM them to us on Instagram. If you don't join the channel, get 5 people to subscribe and do the same thing. You'll enter for your chance to win a free pair of beautiful 12-ounce fight gloves. Think you guys will love them. Shout out also to our sponsor, Nueva Real Estate. And be sure to get your Fighters Rep gear. In the link below, we got shirts, hoodies, masks, tank tops. Again, anything you guys do, support. It's for the channel primarily. It's for the promotion, helping us build these young fighters. Let's see here. So do you think that knee weakened him a bit? I guess so. Kevin from Chicago. Ben already got humiliated by Masvidal in 5 seconds, then got choked out by Maia with one arm. He had nothing to lose. And, I do think the knee may have weakened his chin a bit because Ben Askren had an iron chin, man. I'm really surprised that Jake Paul did that to him. I got to be honest with you guys. Either Jake Paul has some tremendous power or Ben Askren his chin is just toast. And the other reason I thought Ben Askren would be a bit more durable, and this is something that you guys will, understand if you follow the fight game closely, or if you're like me, a promoter, and you see what these fighters go through when they're cutting weight and stuff. I just felt because Ben Askren was a little heavier in this fight, because Ben Askren was a little bit heavier in this fight, I thought he'd be able to take more on the chin, and his chin is already a strong one. So, usually when guys are depleted and they have to cut weight, they can't take the shots that they, normally can. I thought, he kind of came into this fight a little chubby. I thought he'd be able to take the shot, and it didn't happen. Another thing I wanted to talk about is, a lot of times people tell me, it's crazy. Some people think you get hit bare knuckle, that's the hardest blow. Or if you get hit with MMA gloves, that's the hardest blow. But, as we saw tonight, this is a guy with an iron chin who's never been knocked out with a punch, as far as I know, in MMA. He got hit by a boxer, a YouTube boxer, with a 10-ounce glove on. I imagine it was a 10-ounce glove, and went over. So, it brings us kind of back to the argument, right? Does the large surface area of a boxing glove actually increase the power, right? Does it hurt more? Does it affect you more to be hit with a big old boxing glove versus a 4-ounce MMA glove versus bare knuckle? I think, for me, the question's still out there, man. I don't know. I have no idea. Do you think Red Catch bet against himself to go down in that round knowing he wasn't going to beat Prograis? Says Logic. Very possible, bro. Very possible. Shout out to the Clappin'. He says, got the fresh cut Did you see Andrade take another cherry pick the decision? Andrade, I sure did, brother. Check me out, guys. Man, I had to do something about it, man. I was turning into the damn Sasquatch, man. Shout out to the Port Barbershop down here in San Pedro. My girl Kylie, she hooked me up. I feel like I look good with the fez on now that I'm faded up. I love it. Appreciate you joining the channel, man. Kevin from Chicago retracted his messages. Yeah, appreciate you joining the channel, man. Oh, also, by joining the channel, you guys are going to get to have access to our live fights. That's the only way to watch them when we come back. I got a dope production squad that's going to be, working on the live stream and doing the live stream for us. They've got experience with UFC Fight Pass, so it's going to be TV quality. It's going to be sick, man. And our rule set, I think, is the most exciting rule set. You can watch our fights for free on this channel. I think you guys will love them, and it's going to get crazy when we get back, man. I'm telling you guys, we got UFC vets, Glory vets, Bellator vets, guys from all over the sport that are going to be competing for us. So I think you guys will love it. Let's see here. Are you crazy? That was rigged, says David Purse. Alex Mark says facts. Logic says once Floyd mops the floor with Logan Paul, if it feels like it's setting up a Jake Mayweather fight, Jake's fans will think he has a chance because of his wins. Bogus. Williams lost twice to Liam Smith. Guy Canelo destroyed. Still, Williams was better opponent than Montiel, who Charlo picked. True. And these guys really need to stop talking about Canelo. The more these guys fight, the more you see that these guys are not on Canelo's level. None of them. They need to fight each other. Charlo and Andrade and Triple G. These guys need to fight each other before they talk about Canelo. At least that's my opinion. Kempercat Media says the Jake Paul vs. Ben Askren event was a music concert. I agree. And it was music that I don't like. So, not really a fan. Really want to see the fight or clip. Sorry, Christy, we don't do that. We don't want to get, busted on copyright issues. And you're going to have to go to Triller to see that stuff. If you want to watch our fights, they are here on this channel. You can watch our fights. You can support us and help me build the best promotion on the planet. So yeah, I can't show other people's fights. That's illegal. Crimson says you're hitting harder with a boxing glove too. You see, there's another comment. There's another comment about people hitting harder with a boxing glove. Harry Lopez says rigged, bro. Frankie Vid said Snoop Dogg was awful. Oh my God, that's some funny shit. Do you think if Fury becomes undisputed, a bout with UFC heavyweight champ Francis would be made? Would UFC champion versus boxing champ make over $2 million? I don't see why they wouldn't do that fight. I think that's a big money fight for both guys. They would both say yes to it. I think Tyson Fury would win that fight. But Ngannou's a really dangerous guy, man. Ngannou, I believe Ngannou is more of a boxer than anything, right? He learned how to wrestle and sprawl and all this stuff just recently. But he's more of a boxer than anything, and he's talked about that how he's always wanted to be a boxer. I think if Ngannou lands a shot on anybody, man, it's over. It's like Deontay Wilder level over. And not just with his right hand. I think he could do it with his left hand as well. So that's about it. Let me see here. Snoop Dogg was awful. You guys, man. You guys are hilarious. They had to have Jake win because he's money, but Ben legitimately got dropped. No faking that. I agree with that, man. You can't fake that shit. Enford says, terrible stoppage again, man. I love you guys. I gotta disagree, man. The guy was out on his feet. You don't need the guy to end up with permanent brain damage just to please, fight fans that are watching Triller of all things. So yeah. Frankie Vince says, never want to see Snoop do commentary again. Frankie Vince, not a fan of Snoop Dogg. Something tells me, Frankie, you're not a fan, brother. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. Crimson says Snoop was disgraceful. Triller is never going to catch on with actual boxing. These circuits events are their forte. Boxing gloves, because you don't subconsciously have to worry about breaking your hand. Maybe that too. Kevin from Chicago, they fooled me. I got sucked into the circus. Ben didn't come prepared. He showed up for the paycheck out of shape. Was really hoping for Ben to wear him down, clinch him like Fury did Wilder, make it a half-competitive fight. Embarrassing. I agree. Camper Cat Media says, isn't it 15 seconds you're allowed to show of clips? Nope. Nope, you're not. If you show 1 second of somebody else's stuff that they own the copyright to, that's your ass. You violated copyright law. I don't know why people say this 15 seconds or they think there's some kind of time limit. Cheers. Cheers, by the way. We got whiskey tonight. It's a real gentleman's drink, is whiskey. Let's see. Logic says, looks like Red Couch got the case of kidney stones at worst time. Dude carried out in a stretcher from a mystery punch. May have been kidney stones. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Either that or he was faking it. Who knows? Stagger Lee Good says the stop was fine. I agree, man. I agree. Alex Mark says last fight, better to go all out than stop the fight. Jake's ego's going through the roof, and he won't take a legitimate fight and be humbled. This train isn't ending anytime soon, says Crimson. That is some funny shit. Hey, who do you want to see Jake Paul fight next? Let me know. If you're watching this live, drop it in the super chat. If you're watching this after the fact, drop it in the comments. Who should Jake Paul fight next? I want to know what you guys think about this one. I don't think they're going to put him in there with that Fournier guy. I don't think that guy's famous enough. I don't think that guy's famous enough. Camper Cat Media says 15 seconds in her country. Oh, well, that's nice. Over here, it doesn't work like that, my friend. Over here, if, you steal any kind of material from anybody, unless it's, for certain exceptions, you're in trouble. But there's no real limit on the time. Crimson says Tommy Fury. That's a good fight. The Tommy Fury fight is a good fight. I can see that one happening. Fury's a bit of a celebrity where he's from. NG Sebastian says Rig. Logic says Conor McGregor. Well, look, Conor McGregor, you guys, has to get through Dustin the Diamond Poirier, man. Or he doesn't. I guess if he doesn't, they could still make this fight and he can still continue to get paid outside of the whiskey world, inside of the combat sports world where he started. I don't know how he's going to do against Poirier, though, man. I look forward to that fight. But you also got to keep in mind Conor McGregor a lot smaller than Jake Paul. I'm not saying Jake Paul would beat him, but you're talking about a guy who's fought at like 145, right? 155, 170 the most, taking on a cruiserweight. I mean, cruiserweight in boxing, you guys, 200 pounds. So Jake Paul's essentially a heavyweight, cutting down just under 200. He's a small heavyweight. KSI would be an entertaining fight. He could try to avenge his brother or whatever it is. I could see people getting behind that fight. Conor McGregor isn't what he was. Camper, you might be right, but I think we have to wait until this next Dustin Poirier fight. Conor McGregor is a really smart guy, and he's got enough athleticism, I think, to adjust, and potentially win the fight. we got to see how it looks. I mean, we saw what he did in that, rematch with Nate Diaz. We got to see if he can pull that magic out one more time. But if not, this is a good option for him, taking one of these goofy fights. Wanted Ben to win, but I had a feeling he'd lose. He's not quick or explosive. He's a wrestler. Jake Paul isn't that good. Once Jake fights a real pro, someone who's actually good at boxing, he'll lose. At least there's Poirier 3, says Alex Mark. And that was Daniel Aon. Jake Paul's not good. Once Jake fights a real pro, someone who's actually good at boxing, he'll lose. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Jake needs to fight a real cruiserweight. Take your pick. I would like to see Jake Paul in there. Maybe next they'll put him in there against a cruiserweight who's kind of done, right? Who's kind of done. Oh, man. You guys know who just came to mind? I thought to myself, who's a cruiserweight that's retired, that actually boxed, right? And I thought to myself, BJ Flores, no, because he's training Jake Paul. And then I thought to myself, Enzo Maccarinelli. But the reason I thought of Enzo Maccarinelli is because I knew he was involved in a fight with Roy Jones when they were both over the hill and he beat Jones. Enzo Maccarinelli continues to age. I think it's a bad fight for Jake Paul. But I think if he wants to build some sort of credibility, he's going to have to fight somebody like that. And then I said to myself, well, Maccarinelli beat Roy Jones. What if Jake Paul fought Roy Jones at cruiserweight? I think that would be a lot of fun. I think Roy Jones beats him, right? I got to give that respect to Roy Jones. But Roy Jones is so much older now. And if he fought at cruiserweight, which is, way above what his natural weight used to be, it could be a fun fight. I think it would be a lot of fun. Tony Bellew is someone he can fight, says Camper Cat Media. But, I feel like Tony Bellew is still a really scary guy. Put Jake in there with Yildirim. I agree 100%, man. Crimson, that's a money fight. Yildirim is a money fight. The way Yildirim fought against Canelo, man, I have no problem putting Jake Paul in there against him. Jim C says Oscar. That would be a good one. That's what I'm saying. He needs to fight someone in boxing who's just way over the hill, Someone that, is a name. It'll be a good scalp for him. But someone that's way over the hill. Do you think Tio Cambosos gets more buys than tonight's event? Who's on that one? It depends who's on it. I like that. Look, I really like that Tio Cambosos fight. I don't know if you guys watched the press conference. They were really getting on each other's nerves. I like that fight. But, does it get more buys than tonight's? Maybe because of Tio. People like Tio. And then you also have Cambosos, who's, got the Australian market with him. So I think that, that fight has the potential, depending on what other, celebrity goofballs are on the fight. It has the potential to sell more. Excuse me, guys. Very long day today, you guys. Listen. I had to go to a family function today. Drove to a place that I never want to be at, which is Hollywood or near that area. And it took an hour and a half plus to get there and an hour and a half plus to get back. I mean, I'm just wasted from driving, so yeah, not a fan. Tony Bellew, people like Tony Bellew. Mike Tyson, Ryan Garcia. He can't fight Ryan Garcia, man. Come on, Alex. You're trying to get this man killed. You are trying to get this man killed. John Oliver in here says exciting knockout. Logic says Evander Holyfield on the undercard. Man, listen, you guys let me know who you think he should fight next. Definitely also let me know in the comments. Guys, I've been on for 35 minutes. It's been a rough one for me. Keep watching. I'm putting out content almost every single day. So watch, comment, subscribe, like. Be sure to like this. If you guys like this, we get more love from the YouTube algorithm. It gets put out there more. I'm going to get out of here in a second. Crimson says, do you think Triller's platform makes it? Especially with these celebrities and ridiculousness. It makes boxing look bad. I hope they don't have the same clowns doing commentary for T.O.'s fight. They probably will have the same people doing commentary for T.O.'s fight. I've been saying on this channel, man, they're eroding the integrity of boxing, man. It's been going on a long time. Something I won't do. Something I won't do with FightersRep, man. That's why I ask that you guys support the channel, man. Join the channel. Get your shirts in the link below, whatever it is. This is a fight channel. A fight promotion for real fight fans, man. And as much as I appreciate, what they're trying to do with this goofy celebrity stuff to make money, you got to do it in a way that still respects the sport and shows it, the respect it deserves, preserves its integrity and its dignity, because this was a bit of a shit show tonight. And it continues to be. I mean, it's kind of, I'm going to be honest with you guys, a little ratchet. It's a little ratchet for me, man. I don't love the commentary. I think it's funny, but I don't love it because I don't think it's that professional. But again, at the same time, it's funny. So I see, what audience they're trying to target. But I just don't think it's healthy for boxing, especially, which is really hurting, man. I don't know. And I don't know why people keep saying it's rigged. I don't think it was rigged, but I appreciate your comments, guys. Abda B says everyone was against Ben, the commentators, referees, everyone. Look, before I sign off here, guys, ratchet is an understatement. Before I sign off here, guys, this channel is about making fair fights. This promotion, rather, right? The channel and the promotion are one. You guys are going to see some incredible fights coming on this channel soon. I think they're going to be the most entertaining fights you'll see in the world because of our rule set. Our rule set, our kickboxing rule set, it's essentially boxing with kicks and knees. Soon as guys clinch, they're broken up. You just got to stand and bang it out, right? But clean, beautiful, like gloves and everything. I mean, it's not bare knuckle goofiness and, weirdos and stuff. It's just not YouTubers, not rappers, just real fighters that have dedicated their lives to the sport. Guys you've seen in the UFC and Bellator and so on and so forth. Glory, so on and so forth. You guys are going to see that on this channel. But kind of the purpose of this channel, besides creating a promotion that, we can all be proud of as a community, and created a community of fight fans, not only to talk about fights, but to build the promotion, is to create a culture, man, to create a culture where we preserve the integrity, right? Because while everybody's out there, trying to be so controversial and, smoking a blunt while they're, commentating and, strippers in the halftime show or whatever in between fights. I mean, look, I understand all that, right? I understand all that. But, combat sports is martial arts, man. There's tradition, there's honor, there's respect. It's there for a reason. It's sacred. It's sacred, right? And sacred, right? Something being sacred means you've got so much respect for it that you don't want to tarnish it. And what you're seeing day in and day out in boxing and on this platform we saw tonight and everything else, I mean, you're seeing, people doing things just for the money, just to get as much money as possible. I mean, it can't be that way. It can't keep going that way, right? Because when the money when the money is more important than the product, when the money is more important than the success, you get what we have in boxing right now, which is mismatches, A-side versus B-side fights, the constant building of guys with manufactured records, undefeated records, an obsession with the undefeated record. I mean, we have an unhealthy obsession in boxing culture with the undefeated record, and it's manufactured, and it insults your intelligence as fight fans. All this stems from a greedy promoter and people looking for money. And the reason I say that is because, they create these records. They build these artificial records for these guys to try to fool the public into thinking this guy's unbeatable. I mean, we saw it with Deontay Wilder. We saw it with Gary Russell Jr. I mean, we've seen it time and time again where these guys are built as if they're unbeatable. As soon as they go in there with somebody with a pulse, it's over. So I'm always going to be closer and more inclined to follow the UFC route, albeit, probably also a bit more affectionate, I guess you could say, towards the martial arts. But I think Dana White does a good job. At least he has the best guys fight the best guys, And I think that's very important. I think having a clean, respectful product for these fighters to compete in, affords them the respect they deserve, affords the fans the respect they deserve. You put on real fights for them. You give them real fights that are 50-50 fights, and they'll stay with you. At least that's the way I believe it, That's the way I believe it. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there. So Jake Paul won either way. It wasn't rigged, but that was kind of BS. Jake Paul has heavier hands than Mayweather. Mark Francis says, funniest fight I ever seen. Snoop Dogg was more entertaining than the fight. Yes, did the ref stop the fight early? I didn't think so. Brandon Calhoun says, facts, yup. Are you saying yes to me? I saw it 2 minutes ago and just got here 2 seconds ago. Facts, brother, you're speaking facts. Says Alex Mark, boxing fan, says Tank and Charles are the biggest frauds in boxing. You see it? If these guys were actually fighting people, you guys wouldn't feel this way, right? You guys wouldn't feel this way. I don't know, man. I don't know. And the other thing is, and the other problem with the mismatched and manufactured records and all this, bullshit, is that when a guy loses in boxing, that could be the end of his career. I mean, this is a guy or a girl that has dedicated their entire existence and life, years, to a sport. And if they lose once, it's over? What? Like, what kind of, shitty fan do you have to be? What kind of horrible person do you have to be to create a culture like that? I mean, you are a horrific person if you create a culture like that. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Knuckleheads, I've been on too long. I talked your ears off. Join the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. Share this video. Tell your friends about us. We need to grow this thing so that when the fights come back, we got a big audience.